truth, otherwise take a knee. Made it to the league, now we gotta take the lead. Must be two sides.
What it is, good people. Welcome back to another episode of the Must Be Two Sides podcast. I'm your boy Ahmad Hicks. Got Mike Cole Pruitt joining us remotely. And Kohu, what the word is, man? How's life treating you? I know you got a baby on the way, man. How's the household? You good? You getting some sleep right now?
Man, it's getting hectic. I'm getting as much sleep as I can before this baby come, though.
How many more weeks you got before baby number 3, cuz?
Man, two. It's crunch time, my boy.
Hey, just make sure you carve out some time for the weekly podcast. You feel me? Just make sure you dedicate some time for us.
Hey, you see, I'm here right now, man, and we got something special for the guest today, man.
Yeah.
We got one of my good homeboys from the league, man. 9 years in the NFL, third round pick in 2017, Pro Bowler. Man, probably the fastest tight end in the league since I'm out right now, you know. Definitely feeling tropical. My man, always in the community getting down, loving father and husband, Jonnu Smith. Welcome to the show, man.
My guy, dog. I appreciate that introduction, man. I appreciate you, my guy.
Of course, brother.
Love, baby.
Yes, so sir. Good to see you, man. It's been a minute, brother.
Likewise, my good brother, Prue. I don't know, Prue, one of the realest, man. It's one of the realest.
Facts. So
from the jumping, you been too, bro.
Yeah.
You been too.
So for people who don't know, Jonnu posted up in Pittsburgh right now, tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. How many years in the league right now for you?
This is 9 for me, man.
Define the odds right now.
Sir.
Well, they say the NFL stands for not for long, but both of y'all 9-10 years in, that's love.
Ain't no doubt. Yeah, 9 years
it's a
in,
blessing,
man.
bro.
Major blessing, bro. You know what I mean? It's hard to defy these odds, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, getting there, it ain't, your percentages is beyond low. You know what I'm saying? And obviously to continue to keep playing and having longevity in this league, man, that's just, you know what I mean, another blessing, another dream come true, man. So we definitely doing it.
Yeah, man. Well, you definitely came from humble beginnings, man. Let's just talk about some of that, man. You from Philly, proud, definitely proud. All y'all Philly people is the youngest of 6 children, bro. How was life growing up as being the youngest of 6 kids?
No doubt, getting bullied all the damn time. You know what I'm saying? Telling my mom, you know what I mean? Telling all my sisters and brothers, you know what I mean? But nah, man. So it was man. One thing about growing up with a lot of siblings, man, it made me want a lot of kids. You know what I'm saying? So I got 4. You know what I mean? And I don't know if we done or not. You know what I'm saying? Just because I know you got 3. You know what I'm saying? You might be in that same boat, right?
Yeah. We got the way.
It's definitely a blessing, bro. But growing up, you know what I mean, bro? It was, we all of my sisters, my brother, we was all so tight knit. You know what I mean? My father passed when I was 4 years old, and so my mom was left on her own to raise all six of their kids, on her own, man. And that lady right there, I always say that's the strongest woman I know, man, because she put it on her back and ain't complain about it once. You know what I'm saying? In the midst of growing up, obviously, in the city of Philly, you know what I mean? You know how it is, man. And, yourself being from, St. Louis, you know what I'm saying? It's all the same. It's just different names, you know what I'm saying? And growing up in the inner city, man, obviously it's a lot of BS going on around you, man, that you get into. But, Mom Dukes, she tried her best to raise me and my brother, without a father figure around. That's hard to do, man, when you ain't got no male figure, you know what I'm saying? But she tried her best. And, I like to say, God kind of had his hands on our story, because my brother, he took a different path, you know what I'm saying? And me, I was just blessed and fortunate enough to have family living in South Florida. And some people know the story, some people don't. But, after my brother had got caught up in the streets and, he got arrested and sentenced and all of that, my mom was like, I don't want this for you, because I was coming up right after him. We 5 years apart. My brother was 20, I'm, 14, turning 15. And he, getting into what he getting into. And after, he got caught up in this stuff, my mom was like, I want a better life for you. Sent me down to South, not South Florida, but Central Florida with my aunt and my uncle, man. And that changed my life, dog. So I was blessed to have family that I could get away from that I could go to and get away from all this nonsense, man, that I was going through in Philly. But it made me a better man, made me who I am today.
How tough was that adjustment, going from your home, what you knew, what you were accustomed to essentially something new?
Yeah, man, it was so honestly, for me at the time, I ain't had the opportunity to play football my freshman year in high school, man. My mom was like, I ain't really necessarily concerned about you playing football. I want you to get an education where I feel is the best place for you to get an education. And I wasn't feeling that. You know what I'm saying? 14 years old, I'm trying to plead with my mom. Like, man, come on, mom. Like, this is what I love to do. You know what I'm saying? Football is what I love to do. Is what I want to commit myself to. But she wasn't hearing it. She wasn't having it. And rightfully so. I understand. Like, growing up in the inner city, raising kids in the inner city, raising young Black fatherless boys in the inner city, man, your agenda is a little different as a mom. You focus on things that you see that's realistic. So she may not necessarily saw my dream at the time as a realistic goal because she just looking at the chaos that's going all around them. It's like I'm trying to make sure my son get home. I'm trying to make sure he get education. And those are the things that was on our mind, man. And a lot of mothers in the inner city, they concerns and necessity for their kids is a little different than the average mother. And so I don't blame my mom at all, man. But obviously, I'm a man of faith, man. So God plan is perfect. You know what I mean? So one way or another, it was like I was meant to be here. You know what I'm saying? So, even though my brother had, got caught up in some stuff, that was his kind of, I would say his demise was kind of the beginning of my journey. You know what I mean? Because that forced my mom to send me away. And so when I got sent away, to answer your question, it was an adjustment for me, and it was an adjustment for me in a good way because I was able to be in Florida. That's the hotbed of high school football. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, I ain't play football my freshman year. You know what I mean? So my mom was like, "You got to go to Florida." I'm like, "Pack my bags. I'm ready to get up out of here." You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And that's kind of when my journey started, man.
Yeah, man. You talk about your brothers, but we've had a couple conversations. I know how strong that relationship is between you and your brother. Just talk about that a little bit more. How y'all still stay connected.
Right. I'm glad you asked me about that, man, because obviously, my brother went out in you know, incident happened in 2010. My brother gets caught up, wrong place, wrong time. My mom sends me away that summer. That happened in July. My mom sends me away maybe a week later to my aunt and uncle. And I get down there to Florida. My brother, basically, man, the justice system, they say innocent until proven guilty, but you're really guilty until proven innocent.
Of course.
So our brother had to fight for his freedom from being incarcerated from the county for 5 years until he he was basically in trial for 5 years, going, not in trial, but it took 5 years damn near to go to trial. And by the time he went to trial, he lost. So that was 2015. Lost trial, and he got sentenced to 25 to 50. And he was 25 when he got sentenced, man. So he thinking he gonna, basically spend the rest of his life in prison. 40, he like, man, I got 5 years in. I'm gonna have time served. So, this where I'm gonna be at till I'm 45. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so my brother was at that time, he wasn't, when he first obviously got arrested, man, his mindset was in a different place. But like from the moment that he really sat down and realized that this is where he gonna be, his whole perspective on life changed, and he became my role model. He became the person that I looked at and was like, I want to make him proud. You know what I mean? I never had a man in my life to say I want to make proud. And became my brother, you know what I'm saying? And he just the way he changed his life, committed his life to Christ, and the way he really moved away from the street mentality and really became a man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these young dudes out here, man, they get caught up in thinking that being a man is being in the streets and conducting yourself in a street like manner. You know what I mean? But being a real man, taking care of your family, providing for your family. You know what I mean? Pushing that narrative, always be the protector, the sole provider of your family, of your household. You know what I mean? Doing right by other people, just morals. You know what I mean? And integrity that these young dudes miss a lot out here, man. And that's what my brother had. And so for me, I'm looking up to him from high school all the way up until now. That's still, I'm a grown man. You know what I mean? I got 4 kids myself. You know what I'm saying? And I always look to him for advice and guidance and leadership, man. But the beautiful thing about the story is we were fighting for his freedom for 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Damn there. You know what I mean? And it wasn't up until this spring in March that we won the appeal, and my brother be home next year, July 18th, man. So we got yeah, bro. So bro, the greatest, the driving force for me to making it to the league was to get a good attorney. You know what I mean? Me being able to provide my brother with the proper counsel and the proper guidance, man, on the attorney side. It costs money to do that. And one of my motivating factors for me was like getting my brother a good attorney to fight for his freedom. And we lost a lot, man. We lost a lot of battles going through that judicial system, trying to, win appeals and losing. But, we had some fortunate things go in our favor this past spring. And my brother's sentence got, reversed, and they sentenced him from a 25 to 50 to a 16 to 32. So he'll be home next year, man.
Man,
that is so dope.
Just hearing that, I got a follow-up question for you. You hear a lot of stories about guys in jail who maybe shouldn't be there or can't afford the right counsel to help, free them. For you, where did your perspective change in all of that, and looking at people behind bars and stuff like that, and how many shouldn't be there if they could afford things like that, like you were able to?
Man, it is, it's truly eye-opening, man, because we we realize how much we don't know about the law and about the judicial system, man, and all of the flaws and things that's put in place to keep a man in prison. You know what I mean? And you don't realize that until you're in that situation. And it just so happened that, and listen, it was a time when even money really wasn't the answer to all our problems. You know what I'm saying? Because you can still find go out there and pay, hundreds of thousands of dollars in lawyer fees, sometimes millions for some guys, and they still, are faced with, the ultimate demise, man, and that's, having to spend the rest of their life in prison. And sometimes these guys not even guilty. And so, it opened my eyes a lot to the sense that we live in a flawed system, and that, man, it's so easy. It takes a split second, man, to lose everything that you've built, to lose everything you work for, right? But you may spend your whole lifetime trying to build the integrity and build the principles and morals that you stand on. You know what I mean? And you could lose that all in 1 second by being wrong place at the wrong time, being around people, being around the wrong people. And so, man, it just taught me a lot. And made me realize a lot about how important our freedom is. You know what I mean? Even me not being in that situation, but just having to see my brother live through that for the last 15 years of his life. He was a baby when he went in there, basically 20 years old, thinking that he about to be here for the next 25 years. And, God was on our side, man. And, that time was still needed, you know what I mean? But, he'll be home next year. And so it definitely changed my perspective on it a lot.
Yeah, man. So, we know you do a lot of work in the community. You touch the kids, man. You go out and coach. You hold camps every year, and that got to be a huge motivation for that, man. I'm already knowing.
Yeah, for sure. I had guest speakers, man, that did time in jail come talk to the kids. You know what I'm saying? And let them know, like, man, listen, if y'all, because it's a lot of the violence that's going on in my city and a lot of the cities in the country, but a lot of the violence that's going on in my city, man, is start from the youth. You know what I mean? It's really the young kids that's out here running around crazy and getting in a bunch of, nonsense, man. And, it's important for me to go back always to the streets that I came from and let them know, like, listen, man, I came from the same place you did. You know what I mean? And, having guys that was incarcerated and spent a lot of their life in prison, having them talk to them and let them know, like, yo, I was your age. I did what y'all did. I thought this was cool, but it ain't cool. You know what I mean? And trust me, you don't want to be behind them bars. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely try, make sure the kids get that resource.
Well, I know we're going to tap into your journey throughout the NFL, but one more question about your brother. How motivating is it for you right now to continue your NFL career so he can be on the sidelines and be in the stands to actually watch you play an NFL game?
Yeah, man, that was, obviously you always, you dream about, I mean, that's something that I've been dreaming about since the moment I got drafted. You know what I mean? My brother had to live through my whole NFL journey, my whole college journey, my whole high school journey from behind bars. So my brother never got to see me play down to high school. college or, you know, obviously professional football, only through the TV, obviously. But it's not the same. You know, we come from the same system. You know what I mean? Same mom, same dad. Like, you know, our blood through and through. You know what I mean? And you know, and my family's so tight knit to a point. Like, man, we didn't have, you know, siblings. My mom didn't marry someone outside and had kids with them. My dad didn't, you know. So everybody, we was just all in the same house always, man, and we was all tight knit. And losing my brother was like losing a part of me. You know what I mean? But you know, I've been grateful and blessed to be able to say, you know, I was a part of, you know, helping him reach his freedom and eventually, you know, God willing, him see me play in person.
No doubt, man. Well, let's tap into some of your career, man. At this point, you done played for what, 5 different teams.
Yeah.
You,
Wow.
you done seen everything there is to see in this league, man. And you the big vet now. They call you up now yet? They doing that to you yet?
I'm still trying. I just turned 30, dog, so I'm still trying to keep that young glow. You know what I mean? Hopefully, man. You know what I mean? But nah, I feel you.
100%, man. So yeah, you was drafted to Tennessee in 2017 in the 3rd round, and you got to be up under a legendary tight end, probably Hall of Fame status coming up here, Delanie Walker, man, and just talk about some of the things that you learned as a rookie sitting up under a guy like that.
Delanie was big for me, bro. I think a lot of guys can benefit coming in and sitting behind a vet, you know what I mean, that had as much success as a guy like Delanie. That's my OG, man. I still, you know, rap with Delanie to this day. But that was a guy, man. The biggest thing that I learned from Delanie, because watching him, obviously, you know, I always, you know, my ability wise, man, you know, I kind of felt that our game was similar, but he just made it look so easy. And you know what I mean? Like me coming in at 21 years old, him being, I think, 32 at the time, him going out there and I'm seeing him get open, seeing him fill space and coverage and seeing him how he beat man coverage, seeing how he finds zones and zone coverage and how he find those soft spots, man, and match. And I'm watching it, and I'm trying to go out there and replicate it, but for some reason it just ain't adding up. You know what I mean? And that's when I realized his levels. You know what I mean? For real. And so being with him, I was with Delanie for the first 3 years in Tennessee, but just watching him and seeing how he slowed the game down from a mental standpoint. You know what I mean? When we come in, man, for me, I can probably speak for myself on this, but you know, I'm relying on my athleticism, which most young guys do, and I'm just not really playing the game with my head. And once you realize that the game is played with the head more than it is with the body, that's when you start to separate yourself. And so that's what I learned from Delanie, man. And watching him and seeing how he just approached the work, seeing how he just always had that like I'm over you mindset, you know what I mean? And that was something that was key, you know what I'm saying, that helped, you know, spark that confidence. Like I can be I always knew ability wise I should be where you know, the things that I've been able to accomplish, you know what I'm saying? But it just kind of always never came into fruition, you know what I mean, at the time when I wanted it to. But you know what I mean, obviously in due time things gonna work out. And so I'm grateful for that opportunity.
So what was that like? You had Delanie Walker there, and then your boy Mike Cole came over. What was that introduction like between y'all two, and how quickly did y'all hit it off?
Man, listen, man, Prue was listen, solid as they come from day one. As soon as my dog walked through the door, man, you know what I mean? Like hell of a player, man. You know, and you know, just always listen, man. One of the most impressive things about Prue, because I was like, I probably got this from Prue. Now that I'm old, probably, I mean, I don't know if it's because he was older. He was just like, man, I know this shit already, but whatever. But one thing I realized about Prue, dog, was I remember taking notes. I was always a big note taker. And right, you know, as an NFL, man, that playbook, it's a lot of knowledge, man. It's a lot of wisdom you got to retain. And so I remember I'd just be taking notes, da 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 da. Prue just be sitting in meetings like this, hoodie on, head low, you know what I mean? And we go out there and this man don't miss a beat. And I'm like, yo, this nigga, I mean, he sharp as a whistle, you know what I'm saying? And so I always admired that about him. I don't even know if you know that, man, but me and Art used to always play about that, man, because he was always on it. He was always on, knew he was assignment sound, go out there, execute it, you know what I'm saying? And that was something that I always admired about him, man. And I was like, that was impressive to me. I'm like, I got to write this down and to retain this. You know what I'm saying? My dog, man, he went out there and always was sharp, man. And again, I go back to that playing the game with your mind. You know what I'm saying? But more than that, man, he just a genuine dude off the field, man. Like, I mean, Crew was always there supporting me, birthday parties, events, shot, whatever it may have been, man. He was always there showing up. And man, we had deep talks about families, and I see him building a family now, man. And we go way back, man. I mean, I'm talking, I think I met Prue when I'm either 22 or 23. You know, I'm a baby. You know what I'm saying? And so we got time in, man. And obviously, he had a hell of a career and going on, in year 11 right now, man. And still here, defying the odds like we talked about, man. So, and I'm proud to say that's one of my brothers.
Man, no doubt. I appreciate that, bro. I didn't know that you was looking at me like that and had some of the thoughts, man. But
yeah,
I appreciate that I was able to make an impact on you for sure. And you did the same for me too, man. Just I think like some of the ways you carried yourself, like as a man and in your faith, bro, like it really inspired me to just move a little different myself too, man. And just I think the off the field things, they have more of an impact than even on the field. So
absolutely,
for sure,
absolutely.
those conversations, I'll never forget those.
You know that. You already know that. Them calf conversations when you realize you look up and it's just y'all two in the room. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in there, and you look up and y'all the only two left because y'all was diving in them deep conversations, man. But no, 100%, man. We done had them conversations about, listen, man, that on the field. I mean, that off the field. If that off the field ain't right, then that on the field ain't gonna be right. You know what I'm saying?
Man, what?
Yeah,
that was, we done had them talks, bro.
That's deep. That's good to hear.
Yeah, man. And look, me and you was locker mates back in Tennessee. I don't know if you remember, bro, but it was one thing you used to do before every practice, bro. Like, do you remember what it was?
I got a head, man. It's probably a couple of them. I got a routine, but
Hey,
what's up?
Hey, Omar, this man knew when lay a towel down.
Yeah. What?
This man knew lay a towel down, pull out the big clippers and get smacking them toenails across the locker room.
Hey, listen, bro. You gotta understand, man. We making these hard cuts in the ground with our cleats, bro. I wasn't trying to come out. Listen, listen, man. I try to keep my nails, man, as neat as possible as we could be. We already in the 5, man, banging all day. And, you know what I mean? Cutting all day, man. I'm trying to go out with all 10 toes, man. So listen, man. Listen, y'all know about playing with ingrown nails, man. That ain't no joke.
That ain't no joke at all.
You definitely got to keep yourself groomed, but nah, Prue damn sure he ain't lying.
Cole, what'd you think first time you saw that when he did that right next to you? Tell us what was going through your mind.
Man, I'm like, he got to get right. I guess that's his routine, man. And he did it faithfully too. So
hey, listen, you get that in that NFL locker room, whatever you got to do to get ready for practice. Ain't nobody looking at you crazy. Listen, I can see niggas. Listen, put oil up, however they got the oil up, man. Take off. You listen, man. It just go down. You know what I'm saying?
It's a mentality.
Go down in that locker room before practice. Whatever you got to do to get your mind right.
Yeah, for sure.
No, so y'all talk about being locker mates. Y'all were teammates for quite a bit at multiple different teams. You got to tell us some locker room stories. Something that won't get you in trouble, something that won't go viral where a teammate go reach out to you. Be like, man, why you share that story? But we got to hear something entertaining and funny about y'all time in Tennessee together. What y'all got?
You got to tell them about that story. You got to tell them about that story when we was playing. Me and Prue, listen, we played the longest one-on-one game. We was probably playing one-on-one. I don't know how long we was playing this one-on-one game in Atlanta, bro, but we out there sweating. We sweating bricks. First of all, the court is probably 6 feet, and we going hard. We going hard, man. We out there
right
going
before
hard,
practice.
playing one-on-one. I'm talking dunking on each other, talking crazy class. I'm smacking the floor, playing D'ing up. You know what I'm saying?
So you had hoop dreams too, huh?
Yeah, right.
You had hoop dreams too, huh?
Yeah.
You was that?
You had hoop dreams just like Cole, huh?
Listen, man, I'm from Philly, so we always gonna pop our, we always gonna talk a little smack about ball, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just a basketball city. If you know what I mean, it's a basketball city. But I was always better at football, you know what I'm saying? But I love basketball, you know what I'm saying? So anybody say, man, I could beat, no, you can't tie my shoes, you know what I'm saying? I don't care where you from, you know what I'm saying? And that was just the attitude that I had, man. So, but when we used to go at it, man. I ain't gonna lie. I remember that niggas walking in the locker room like, yo, what's up with them? What they got going on? We hard down sweating, playing for that moolah, you know what I'm saying?
What's the record?
Yeah,
What's the
man.
record?
Hey. I let him. I let him beat me, man, because I got
You heard
tired.
what he said. I was
You know,
about to say I had to make
a young
I
pup.
had to make sure he was gonna stand on it. You hear me say, yeah, I let him beat me, right? You see what I'm saying, right?
Bro, we was on game point, so we was I think we was playing win by 2 or something, and we was on game point forever, bro. I was just like, bro, I'm tired, man. Go ahead.
And then let me tell you the crazy thing about it. Boom. So I wins the game. Whatever we played for, we played for, I don't know if it was a couple hundred, whatever, whatever, I can't remember. So we plays for the money. Let me tell y'all, Prue crazy, dog. This is big. So I win. So I'm like, I ain't gonna pay my money. He like, I got you. Week go by, day go by, week go by. You know what I mean? I ain't even sweating no more, right? But my birthday comes. He shoots me the money that he owed to us some happy birthday. Man, I ain't take no birthday money. That's my money from the game. And I'm like, man, this man this man crazy, man. But that was just, you know what I mean, bro. But man, he was just like, funny as ever, man. Like one of the funniest dudes I've been around in the locker room, dog. But my guy shot me that, but he still owe me the bread from that game. That's my birthday money. That's separate. I ain't trying to hear that.
That sound like Cole too. I ain't gonna lie. We didn't bet so many times and don't pay up.
Like he don't.
Yeah.
Hey, long as I owe you, you never go.
He talking
broke,
about what you mean, bro? You rich? That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Man, that's crazy.
So look, man, hey, that is crazy. But man, look, me and you, we was a part of history, bro. Like blocking in front of Derrick Henry, he ran for 2,000 yards that year, man. Just talk about how it was just blocking for a man like Derrick, bro.
Bro, that year, I don't know if you still got your chain from that year? You still got your chain?
I lost it, bro. Somebody took it out the locker room. Somebody took it out the locker room, bro.
He had that year. He rushed. What did he rush for that year? Was that 2K?
Yeah, that was 2K.
Yeah. He rushed for 2K that year. Got everybody. Got I think he bought all the linemen's rollies.
Yeah.
And then he got
of course.
he got all the all the skilled players. Because obviously we part of the blocking game. Listen, most running backs they just show the old line love, but he knew we was all a part of history. You know what I'm saying? So he wound up. Getting the guys, man, chains and watches. Shout out D. Henry, man. That's my guy. And but yeah, bro. I mean, honestly, shit, he made our job easy. You know what I'm saying? Once you get a piece of a guy, man, he was gonna do the rest. And we went on a hell of a run that year, man. And obviously he still in the league doing what he's doing and breaking records, bro. Listen, that dude. So I don't know if you know, but I think he rushed for 2K at every level. Yeah. I want to definitely fact check that. I know he rushed for like 1,000,000 yards in high school or whatever, but in college, I don't know if he was shy of 2K or whatever, but he damn near was topping 2K. And to me, like that's dominance, you know what I'm saying? So we was part of that wave with D. Henry, man, in Tennessee. And watching him, run for 200-300 yards in the playoffs, like just literally putting the team on his back, and pounding the rock, they just couldn't stop him, man. But we definitely was a part of that, man. So
yeah, his senior year, his junior year at Bama before he came out, he rushed for 2,219 yards. So every level he had 2,000 yards.
Every level he had 2,000. There it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's the only person to ever do that. You know what I'm saying? So. He getting his gold jacket. You know what I mean?
Facts. Well, so I saw obviously, he had a run, a 99-yard touchdown run, and everybody celebrated that
bittersweet moment. Bittersweet moment.
You just said it. It was a bittersweet moment. Tell us about it.
Yeah, man. So basically, I believe it's a Thursday night game. We playing Jacksonville, man. It's second year in the league. I had just so Delaney had got injured that year. And I was, they was, you the pass catching threat. And it was a little rough for me at the beginning, you know what I mean? Because I'm so used to watching him do it and, you know what I mean? Then it just happened. Like they like, cause he got injured. So it was like a sudden change. And they like, it's yours. And it was, production wise, it started off a little shaky, but I started picking up my stride and was getting more comfortable, more confident. And we got like 4 games left, in the season. And we playing Jacksonville on a Thursday night, man. And we on a 1-yard line, we backed up. You know what play we running when we backed up. Everybody running the same damn play in the league. We running duo. You know what I'm saying? We running duo. And I believe I was the wing tight end at this time. We was in like, I think we was in 13. Yeah, I think it was me, you, and Stock out there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we in 13 personnel. And I believe I was a Z tight end at the time. And I'm engaged in the block, man. And I see D. Henry squirted through the hole. And man, I'm engaged in the worst position that you can be in. Prue know this, man. When you engaged in your block and your feet is not running and your feet is just set in the dirt, man, so our backside guard blocking Calais Campbell, he having obviously his hands full the whole day. So, he listen, I mean, he gets beat. And Calais beats him, and Calais dives for D. Henry. D. Henry squirts it out the back, actually out the front door. But when he got through the hole, Calais missed him and got me. And man, dove straight into my knee. Knee collapsed and tore MCL, ACL, and meniscus, and had to have a pretty severe surgery. But that was another chapter in my journey, man. And I'm grateful to say that I rehabbed from that extremely well and came back that 3rd year and had a pretty solid year, man. And it was a bittersweet moment though, because shit, I'm on the ground holding my fist like this, like knowing something bad, and I'm just hearing fans go crazy. And I turn over, I'm still on the ground, and the whole team celebrating. You know what I mean? So it was definitely a bittersweet moment. So every time I watch that play, I get kind of cringy. You know what I'm saying? But it's part of the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And you definitely hit that rehab hard, and you came back. It seemed like you was more explosive. You was
Yeah,
faster.
bro. Yeah, man. That was
right.
key. That was key, man. That was key for me. Because again, like once I started getting comfortable, listen, man. One thing about the NFL, when you get comfortable and you get settled in, again, I'm 23 years old. When you get like, all right, I know, because I always knew the kind of player I was. But I'm like, all right, can I do that at the NFL level? And once I start feeling that, I'm like, yeah, like this what I want. And then I get injured. You know what I'm saying? And then I go down and kind of play on the mind if you ain't strong enough. You know what I mean? Because it's like, damn, like I reached, I'm getting to the point that I need to be at mentally, and then it came crashing down. So the biggest thing for me was to keep that same mindset going into rehab, recovering that spring. Had to sit out training camp and was available the first game. And ironically, Delaney got injured again. You know what I mean? He was actually coming off of an ankle injury because he had broke his ankle, that year, the year before, and he came back. But he was a little older, so his ankle ain't really, hold up as much. He was having other problems as well, man. But he wound up going down, and that's when, I came in and filled and like really was able to, finish that season off strong as the pass catcher.
How did your faith help you during that recovery process?
That's everything. That's everything. I knew, listen, man, one thing about things that you can't control, like I don't worry about the uncontrollables. You know what I'm saying? I knew that guy, I'm doing my job. You know what I'm saying? I'm engaged in the block. I'm laying it out on the line. I'm doing, what God blessed me to do, and something unfortunate happened like that. You know what I mean? That's obviously this was supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? And if it was, that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? And so I had to just respond in a way that, like, all right, listen, what I can control now is how I attack this rehab, my mindset about this rehab, and how I continue to recover. And that was just what I was focused on. I wasn't, I don't even remember having a bad day, you know what I mean, during that whole process, man, because I'm like, I know God got his hands on me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna waver. You know what I mean? Because I know how far he brought me. He ain't bring me this far to leave me. So that was obviously what's gonna get me through. That's every time. That's in everything.
Major.
Yeah, man, and God definitely had you, man, because that contract year came up, you was ready to roll, and you did your thing, boy.
I appreciate
And
you,
got
brother.
the big bag, brother.
I
Just
appreciate you. I
talk about
appreciate
like
that.
what's that like to realize that big bag coming and just
Yeah.
that's what everybody want in this league. That's the goal for everybody. Go get that second contract, man, and you was able to get that and get it in a big way. What did that feel like? What was that like, man?
Man, I mean, when I say this, man, like I was so going through that whole process. Like right after that season ended, we missed the playoffs. We lost to the Ravens in the divisional round, in the first round, and season ended in January, and obviously, my phone agent, calling me like, this team interested, and this team interested, and they talking this number, they talking that number, and I'm like, oh, really, 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 they talking this number, they talking that number, you know what I mean? And so you feel it. But when free agency came and they could really get serious about the conversations, and then, and it really wound up only being two teams that really was talking real big numbers that I was going to respect. And, it was like 10 plus teams that I was hearing from, during that process. But when it really came down to it, it was really only two that was in the ballpark where I know I deserved to be. And so once I heard like the final offer of, my contract that I got, man, I just fell on my knees, bro. I was pop, it was, where we from, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like I asked my wife, man, like she had actually had COVID at that day, you know what I'm saying? And she like, she like inhaling, trying to inhale like, the steam from I'll never forget what happened. But like I'm really on the phone, she over there in the kitchen and she inhaling the steam. Like COVID was bad during this time. Remember this 2020, 2021 actually. And she trying to inhale the steam and get the, just replenish herself. She was down bad, man. But when she heard them numbers, she got right. She heard them numbers, she got right, man. But it was a blessing, bro, in the sense of like, you talk about defying the odds. So I became the highest. I had at that time, no tight end had signed a contract for more fully guaranteed money than I did. And that's the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could look at it, you see a lot of people, the public, obviously, the fans, they see these, even family members, they see these contracts, 5-year, $100 million, he got $100 million. They don't see that 50 million guaranteed. Well, that's the real number, you know what I'm saying? Or, whatever the numbers is. And so for me to have the guarantee that I had, and it was the most in tight end history in the NFL, man, that's an accolade. You know what I mean? Like that's an accolade. You know what I mean? It wasn't even about the money, but just accomplishing that. You know what I mean? And obviously coming from everything that I came through and acquiring that amount of wealth at such a young age, man, it's all God.
What was the first thing your big brother said to you when you secured that contract?
So I would tell you a story. He in jail. So he was telling me, man, because he was like, I guess he was going back and forth with one of the guards, and I guess the guards were giving him like some he was giving him a hard time. I guess they was probably playing, you know what I mean, or whatever. But the guard like, man, your brother, he ain't gonna sign a big deal. You know what I mean? I guess he said something like, I can't think of a reason why, he would sign a big deal or whatever. And then when I signed my contract, my brother was telling me the story. He said he went back to the guard and was like, I give you 50 million reasons why he gonna sign a big deal.
Okay, yeah.
Talk that talk.
Yeah, man. So my brother was pushing that, man, always been supporting me. You know what I mean? That's what I said, man. Like I'm so glad that he gonna had an opportunity to live life out here with me, man, when it's next year. You know what I mean? So
that's love,
yeah,
bro.
man, that's amazing, bro. So you was in New England for a little bit, and you got your bread, and then your boy came back calling. Art, man, our boy,
it's
our boy.
truly our boy. I'm about to say our boy,
Our
for sure.
boy, Arthur Smith, man, and he said, "Come on back down to Atlanta and come get what you've been missing, my boy." The ball.
Yeah. Ain't no doubt.
Yes, sir. Just talk about that relationship with Art, man. How that developed and how it turned into what it's turned into now, man.
I'm gonna talk about, man. I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. Y'all definitely, Pooh always been real with me, man. I'm gonna be transparent, man. That time in New England was needed for me in a sense that I had to realize what was like what meant a lot to me in life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Going through that experience, and everybody like, man, you making this much money, you making this much money. But at that time I felt like it was in vain. You know what I'm saying? And it was a time where I had to really dig deep and really ask myself, like, what is it like? How do you want your story to go? You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew coming into that year, it was going when I signed that deal. I'm like, all right, now they got no choice but to get me the rock. You know what I'm saying? And it was some situations that I wish I could have did better as well. You know what I'm saying? But and I got no hard feelings or nothing toward New England. You know what I'm saying, man? Nothing at all. It was just a time, that wasn't a high point for me in my football journey, but I needed that. You know what I'm saying? And so when I got to Atlanta, I was so determined to capitalize on every opportunity. You know what I mean? And was just determined to prove to myself that New England was I want to use a proper word when I say this, but to use New England was just a stepping stone in this story. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna say it that way. And by me getting there, and locking in and knowing that I got a guy that trusts me and trusts my abilities with the rock in my hands, man. Big thing gonna happen. I want to let y'all know. I'm gonna let y'all know on a little nugget, man. The biggest play I had in Atlanta happened because of this man right here. I just want y'all to know the biggest play I had in Atlanta happened because of that man right there, man. Like, he was always, detailed assignment and just always knowing how to have good feel and leverage guys, man, so it can make other guys' job easier, man. And one thing they don't know, Pooh really a pass catcher. I don't even know why they been trying my boy. He really a pass catcher.
Man.
Smooth route runner, soft hands, savvy vet, man. Pooh really a pass catcher, man. He just do it because he can. You know what I'm saying? He just do the wild thing because he can.
Yes,
But getting to Atlanta, just to harp on that, man, it was like a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean, to say the least. And getting to that situation, and even though I was making less money, I was happier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was happier.
So you went to Atlanta, you made less money, but you balled out. You revitalized your career. Then you got a chance to go to a place you call home, Miami, and you had another good year there. What was that like, going back and kind of putting on in the place where it kind of made you yourself?
Yeah. That's when I was like, I got to a spot and I was like, it's finally here. You know what I mean? Like, it took longer than I thought it would take, you know what I mean? But again, it's all part of the journey. But when I got to Miami, I knew that was what was going to happen, I just didn't know when. And so that was an important, very, very appreciative and grateful for that opportunity that I had in Miami to come home and play for the city that I consider home. And I got a lot of love for the city of Miami. Miami got a lot of love for me. Me being alumni for Florida International, FIU, and being there, and having a good career there, and just being able to do things in the community, and and then coming back, man, and having a year that I had there, and breaking records and making my first Pro Bowl and being able to make another mark on the city. I'll always be grateful for that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter where I'm at, Miami always gonna show me love, and I'm always had love for Miami. I ain't going nowhere. This home. But it's the nature of the business and how I go. You know what I mean? And now your boy a Stiller, and I couldn't be happier. You know what I'm saying? And we 3-1 right now. You know what I mean? And we looking good, man. And I'm excited for this journey.
Yeah, man. Hey, I got a chance to be with Mike Tomlin, man. It was the first black coach I had ever been with, and it was definitely different. He ran the team his own way.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk a little bit about your experience with Mike T this far.
Leader of men, bro. Leader of men, man. Like, you know how sometimes you can sit in a team meeting and kind of like zone out, you know what I'm saying? And just like,
Yeah.
you know, get lost. You're like, all right, man, this man's want to hear himself talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But every from the day I got in there, bro, like it ain't no bullshit for Mike T. He ain't going up there and just saying something that he just saying to say because he taking up time for a team meeting. You know what I'm saying? And I always just respected the authority that he held. And obviously you see how he's reciprocated from the community, from the fans, from the building. Everybody in that building got nothing love and respect for Mike T because he showed everybody and everybody. I don't care if you're the janitor, I don't care if you know, the trainer, I don't care, you know, player, whatever. He gonna show everybody the same love and respect, man, and always acknowledge you as a person. And I appreciate that. And I admire that, man, because for a guy to be in his position, it's easy to get caught up in the hierarchy, you know what I mean, in your position. And so, you know, he always acknowledged that, man, and all, man of the people, man, and a hell of a coach. You know what I mean? His resume speaks for itself. I ain't even got to talk about that. You know what I mean? His resume speaks for itself. But you said one thing that stuck home, man. You know, the first, you know, African American head coach that I played for too. You know what I mean? And you know, just to be real, you know, that's inspiring. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's inspiring. You know what I mean? Coming from where I come from, and you know, me being me, and you know, looking at a man that identify himself as the same way I do, and accomplishing what he accomplished, man, it's inspiring, and I respect it. You know, all the more.
I gotta ask both of y'all this question. The league is made up of predominantly black men, and there's not a lot of black head coaches in the National Football League. And I know the Rooney Rule is put in to give black coaches an opportunity. Do you feel like black coaches, position coaches, are slighted when it comes to getting that opportunity to become a head coach and lead their own team?
You want me? Yeah, I mean, I feel it on that. You know, I think yeah, that's a good question. You know, and it could also be subjective. You know what I mean? To what you see, everybody's perspective is different. Um, I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing now. Right now we got Raheem, we got Mike Tomlin, uh, we got Bowles. You know, who am I missing? So I'm
Aaron
missing
Glenn, New York Jets.
Aaron Glenn. We got Aaron Glenn. I want to say this is. I mean, it seemed like we trended in the right direction more than we had. And I mean, we had a few guys here and there, but you got to understand too. Mike T he was in from a different era. You know what I mean? Like he'd been this. I mean, he technically a dinosaur, man. Longest tenured active coach, and so for his team. But you know, as far as position coaches, you know, again, that could be a subjective matter. It's usually for me, I would say the prejudice there is not necessarily the color of the skin. You know, I would say I would say it's more of what position do you coach and how is that going to get you to a coordinator job?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because if you guys don't notice, a lot of running back coaches don't really get coordinator jobs. You know what I'm saying? And for that reason, I know personally that a lot of coaches have trouble being in that position and wanting to coach running backs because, you know, for whatever reason, the turnaround for coordinators, you know, coming from running backs coaches is not a lot. And obviously, in order for you to be a head coach, you got to be a coordinator. And so I would say, man, from my experience and the things that I see, you know, I think a lot of it has to do with the position that guys are playing, and you know, obviously, quarterback coaches get to that OC offer opportunity first. You know, everybody know that. You know what I mean? You know that's the elephant in the room that we're going to address. But you know, prove what you think, man.
Man, I think it's just like any other job or any other profession, man. It's all about who you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of black position coaches are underneath a black head coach. So a lot of these guys may not get that next opportunity because, you know, they're thinking that maybe the head coach is the one that is in the position making the calls, and they not in the position to know some of the other people that's actually in power. So it's just one of them type of situations. It's unfortunate, but I think it is trending in the right direction. We're getting a lot of coordinators that are on their P's and Q's and really doing a great job.
Forgot about Raheem Morris too in Atlanta.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we forgot D'Amico Ryans in Houston. So 5 out of 32 teams have black head coaches right now.
So yeah, it's really just a microcosm of society, bro. Like we're the minority in society. We're the minority in positions of power in society. So that's kind of the way that the league is mirroring society as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, look, I'll ask y'all an easier question. Cole, you're not there. We were talking about this before the season, the possibility of playing with Aaron Rodgers. Jonnu, you playing with a future Hall of Famer. What's that like now?
Man, you got to get with him and just prove like how the ball come off his hand. You know what I mean? Like it's different. You've been around a lot of good QBs, man. I know you played with Russ, Tannehill, and you know what I mean. I know you played with, you know, who was it? You played with Teddy, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. But you know, A-Rod is different, man. And not only that, what's more impressive to me is the experience that he got, man. I mean, he's seen every coverage, he done seen every defense, every schematic that you could try to draw up defensively. He done seen it. And so with that, we always got the advantage of kind of playing more freely in the sense that, listen, we don't gotta do what's on the paper. Like, let's talk about this. If you see this is where I want you at. If you know what I mean. If this guy's playing this leverage, you know, maybe, you know, however, you know, break it off this way, or you know, whatever the situation may be, man. And so, with a guy like that, you know, he just able to manipulate the game so much from a quarterback perspective, you know what I'm saying, where, you know, you're not just calling the play in the huddle, you know what I'm saying? So, A-Rod, listen, it's the first offense I've been in where we call the play in the huddle and you probably got an 85% chance of that play getting changed, you know what I'm saying? And so everything is just so, all cards on the table, you know what I'm saying? All chips is on the table, you know what I mean? And so, but that opened up your offense, man, so much, you know what I mean? And always give you answers.
Hey, Must Be Two Sides family. Thank y'all so much for joining us for part 1 of the Jonnu Smith episode. Make sure y'all rejoin us next week for part 2, where we have a little bit more fun and play all of our favorite game, Kappa Certified. You won't want to miss it. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Stand for the truth, otherwise take a knee. Made it to the league, now we gotta take the lead. Must be two sides.